Hello YouTube, this is Acebeam. I thought I'd do a flashlight review. I'm watching the Olympics. Just got off work. It's currently 1:24 a.m. and I finally got my flashlight back from my brother, who made a video that I'm going to be using in this video, but he wanted to test out or compare and contrast the Acebeam versus the Olight. And I told him that he could borrow it and do that. And, I could have done the video, but he wanted to do it, so I let him do that. But this is the E70 Ti EDC flashlight. And it's quite a bit bigger than the Olight Mini Warrior, which is what I've been carrying here recently. But I decided I wanted to try out this awesome looking flashlight, except for one blemish on it. But let's see if I can get it to focus. But that's just a really tight looking flashlight. It has titanium, this blue in here. Would have been awesome if it was flame anodized. I think the pocket clip looks like something. But other than that, it's a cool looking flashlight. But there's some problems that I've seen with it. Now, this is a 4,000 lumen flashlight. That is a lot of light. And this is, I think, 1,800. This is the Olight Mini, not Mini, but Warrior Pro or M2R Pro Warrior. And this was kind of my hardcore flashlight for a while. And then I started carrying the Mini Warrior. But anyways, I thought these were comparable. And as you'll see in the video, that one outperforms the other in certain categories. And but first, I want to talk about the thing that really irritates me about the Acebeam. And it's not the operation, it's not the user interface. It is strictly this pocket clip. And it's not because it looks like a phallus, but it's not a very springy pocket clip. Like the, Olight, which these tend to break occasionally. I've had one break on me. But this is very thick, very mechanical. Get this to zoom in. But it doesn't have a lot of give. And so it gets kind of difficult to get in and out of the pocket. It's a little bit irritating. And not only that, this is a relatively new flashlight, and it's already really loose on me. Now you can say, well, can't you just tighten it up and put Loctite on it? Well, yeah, but like, I've never had a pocket clip on a flashlight loosen up on me like this. And not only is it really loose, it's just not really fun to get in and out of the pocket. It's doable, but it's not as fun and convenient as this. Now, I like, there you can kind of see it moving. And I think this is due to the nature of the beast. This is not a very springy flashlight, so when you pull up on it, it's putting a lot of stress on the screws. So I think it's going to loosen up quicker than other pocket clips, just because it's so rigid. So that's my biggest problem with this flashlight. And so that's just not cool. And I will take care of this flashlight. I will tighten it up, and if I have Loctite from my last Loctiting thing, I will Loctite it up. But that's just very frustrating to me. It's very irritating. Now, this flashlight does have a weird interface. It's pretty much locked out, which I don't like locked out flashlights. You can hold it and it'll go on moonlight mode, or you can double click and get to a bright mode. And then you can triple click and you get strobe. And sorry if that disorients you, but I just wanted to demonstrate, the basics of getting the different modes. And I'm not going to go deep into specs and run times and stuff like that. But you can see that this is not as easy of a flashlight to use. This one has this button right here to get to different modes. And you can also do a half press or a full press to instantly get to turbo mode and strobe mode, which I think is very important for this type of flashlight. I'm really carrying this flashlight not only to illuminate dark places, but for self-defense. Because, if someone jumps out at you and you strobe them with a flashlight, no harm done, if they're a threat or if they're not a threat. But if you do something with pepper spray, it's still not, technically a crime if they just happen to scare you and you spray them, but you might be sued. Then if you use a gun or a knife on someone that scares you, then that's big trouble if they're not actually a threat. So I think flashlights are a very good tool to have with you if you're going to if you're going to be out at night, if you're going to be at a a bar or a nightclub. I usually try to carry a flashlight with me. And not only that, if you're in a crowded area and you use pepper spray, then everybody's going to be affected by that pepper spray. But with this, as soon as you let off the button, it's no big deal. So I think flashlights have their place for self-defense, and I think they're probably one of the most important self-defense tools you can have. They don't have a lot of stopping power, but they can disorient, you can get away, and you can actually make someone do pretty weird things if you have a strobing flashlight. I've done experiments with them, and you can actually, really disorient someone to the point where they're just completely harmless to you. And you get to see what's going on. You get to see if they have something in their hand or not. So I like high output flashlights. But this one, you have to pretty much triple click to get the strobe. And this one, you just do one hard press. So this one's more convenient, but this one isn't difficult to get to strobe. Now, it's not as easy as the O-Light, but if you just press the button repeatedly, very quickly, kind of like if you're trying to open an elevator and some scary serial killer's right behind you, if you're just very impatient and do mini clicks like an elevator, it's going to go to strobe. So you can get to strobe pretty easily. But so the user interface isn't the easiest, but it's not bad. It's not terrible. Now, something I don't really care for about this flashlight, which is both a pro and a con depending how you look at it. This massive, what kind of battery is this? Let me see if I can. It's a 21700 USB battery, and what I mean by USB battery is that you have this Type-C USB port. Don't know if you can see that. And that's how you have to charge it. You have to take the flashlight apart and charge the battery separately. With this, you can just use the magnetic connector to charge the flashlight, and it's much more convenient. But the cool thing about this, if you're willing to live with that, is that it comes with, at least mine came up with this kind of EDC backup light. I don't know what to call it. It's a interesting light. It's a small thing that just connects to the battery itself. Let me see if I can do it. And here it is. And it has different modes, which is pretty cool. I don't quite know how to use it, but it's a cool light. So if you want a light that's going to act like a candle, you can set it up like that. You're in a blackout situation. You don't need a whole lot of light, although this is pretty bright. That's a cool thing to have. And, so I'd like to have more than one battery for this flashlight. And I'd like to put this accessory light in my kit in case I'm ever in a blackout situation. I have this backup light, and especially if I have more than one battery, I can have one of these in here, and then use this separately. But I think that's a pretty cool accessory. I don't like taking my flashlight apart to charge it, but I can kind of live with that if I need a candle type light, or something that's not going to burn up the battery pretty quickly. So I think that's cool. But they claim that with this titanium bezel, see if I can. My camera doesn't want to stay focused. They claim with this bezel you can break windows. I don't have a car window to test that on, and every time I use a Coke bottle, people get mad at me And then when I use a Coke bottle and it doesn't break as easily, the companies that make the glass breakers complain that the test is too hard, but YouTube says the test is too easy. So it's very confusing. But they claim you can break a window with this bezel. It's titanium, and I don't know if it's good enough to break a auto glass. But it does actually have a good bit of heft to it. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with this flashlight. I intend on continuing to use it, and you'll see in the video, it really depends what you want in the flashlight. This one has a lot of flood. Extreme amount of flood or spill. I think down in Texas, we tend to call the wide encompassing light a floodlight, and then in the community they call them spill, or they call the light spill light. The O light has a lot more throw, a lot more intensity, even though it's less lumens. So that's it. That's the video. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm Acebeam 5, and I'm out.